What is the spiritual dream meaning of a church altar? What does it even mean when the woman who redefined holiness for millions and nearly destroyed herself doing it kept dreaming of an altar she could never, ever reach? To answer that, we have to talk about Teresa of Ávila, a saint whose life was basically a series of contradictions and immense danger. Imagine this. It's 1515. Her family is secretly practicing Judaism while publicly performing Christianity. So from the moment she was born, she understood that sacred spaces could be the most dangerous places of all. So she becomes a nun. But by the time she's 30, this mysterious paralysis leaves her practically half dead. She falls into a coma for 4 days. They actually came this close to burying her alive. She woke up. And that's when the visions started. And we're talking about terrifyingly real experiences. She'd smell incense in rooms where there wasn't any. She'd see light pouring from altars in pitch-black chapels. She could feel the divine pressing on her chest like a physical weight. So what was the official reaction? The church nearly branded her a heretic. The male theologians, they dismissed her, told her these visions were the work of the devil. The message was loud and clear. The altar of God was not for a woman like her. But did she listen? No way. She went on to reform an entire religious order. She wrote mystical masterpieces, built convents all over Spain, and through all of it, she never stopped dreaming of altars. And this gets us to the absolute core of her story and of this dream, an altar never reached. I mean, think about it. Why does a woman like Teresa, a woman who literally lived inside a church, dream obsessively about its altar? What was her unconscious trying to scream at her that her waking life just couldn't hear? And that brings it right back to you. What is your dream of a church altar trying to tell you? Okay, you need to understand this right now. The dream of an altar is not some gentle, poetic thing. It is a secret, urgent alarm. Dreaming of an altar is your psyche grabbing you by the shoulders and shaking you. It's screaming, something sacred is at stake in your life. Right now, today, you have to deal with it. So what is the altar, really? It is the most charged symbol in our spiritual imagination. In Jungian psychology, you can think of it as the self, not your ego, but the deepest, most whole, most integrated core of who you are, made physical. It's the meeting point. It's where the human and the divine negotiate. So when this symbol shows up in your dream, your unconscious isn't trying to be poetic, it is being urgent. And listen, you do not have to be religious for this to hit home. It's a universal symbol of sacred obligation. All of this leads directly back to your life, to a crossroads you're standing at, and to your true self. Look, psychologically, this dream almost always appears when you're at a crossroads you've been pretending doesn't exist. It's a tug of war, right? It's a conflict between devotion to a role you play, your job, a relationship, an identity, and devotion to your true self. It's what happens when you've given everything away and left nothing for your own becoming. And that was Teresa's struggle. She dreamed of altars she couldn't reach because the entire system around her told her she was unworthy of the sacred. Her dream was her soul refusing to accept that lie.
So, what lie are you refusing to examine?
This dream is forcing a confrontation. It's making you face a series of final, absolutely necessary questions. That altar in your dream is asking you, with total seriousness, what are you willing to sacrifice?
And then, even more critically, what are you sacrificing yourself for?
Make no mistake, these are not rhetorical questions. Your inner life is demanding answers that you have not yet given.
And know this, the longer you wait to answer, the louder the dream will get.
Part 2. So you're dreaming of an altar. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't some gentle, peaceful whisper from your subconscious. No, it is an urgent, in-your-face demand.
And that's the only question that matters. What is your soul requiring of you right now? This isn't about just interpreting something cool. It's about taking action. And the first action? A diagnosis.
First, we have to look at the state of your inner world. What is the actual condition of your own sacred center? So if you dream of a dark, empty altar, it means a fire has gone out. That central thing in your life, a relationship, your career, your belief in yourself, the thing you built everything around, It's gone cold. Now, your first instinct is to panic. But listen to me. An empty altar is not a dead one. It's a cleared one. This dream isn't a funeral. It's a quiet invitation telling you that something new is ready to begin. Your job is just to get quiet and listen.
A burned altar, though, that's a whole different animal. This is a psychic wound. It means something you held sacred has been violated, desecrated. And this is a dream about grief.
And the work here, it's not optional. You have to name what was broken. Then you have to grieve it. Because loss you don't grieve, it doesn't just disappear. It festers, it turns into bitterness, and then into a kind of spiritual numbness. You can only rebuild after you've honored what was destroyed.
Which leads us to the next demand. It's not just about the altar's condition, it's about what you're being commanded to place upon it. This is about surrender.
When you dream you're kneeling, that's an act of submission. The dream isn't judging you for it. It's forcing you to look up and see what or who you're kneeling to. Is it worthy of you? And this is the question you have to answer with brutal, brutal honesty. Is this a sacred act of surrender, or is it just you erasing yourself and calling it spiritual? If you dream of placing an offering on that altar, your unconscious is, well, it's rehearsing. It's running drills for letting go. It's telling you something you've been clinging to has to be given up, not destroyed, surrendered. So the work is to figure out what that is. What have you been white-knuckling for so long? An old wound, a story about yourself that isn't true anymore, a relationship that's already a ghost? The dream is telling you it's time. You have to lay it down. With intention. All of this, the condition of your altar, the required surrender, it all builds to the subject of covenants, the sacred promises you've made to yourself. So you dream of a wedding at an altar. This is almost never about romance. It's about your vows to you, the promises you made to your own soul about who you would be. The dream is basically holding up a mirror and asking, are those vows still alive, or are they just empty words? See, if you've broken a promise to yourself and you're just pretending you didn't, that's the poison. It's the ambiguity that's killing you, not the vow itself. The dream is screaming for clarity. You either recommit or you consciously let it go, but you have to choose. Now, if you're standing at that altar alone, that's a command. It's a call for radical self-responsibility. It's your subconscious shouting, stop outsourcing your spiritual life. Stop waiting for someone else's permission or approval. You are the one who has to decide. So here's your task. Right now, I want you to name one decision you've been waiting for someone else, a parent, a partner, a boss, to make for you. Just one. And you're gonna make it yourself, today.
Okay, but it's not all about sacrifice and surrender. The altar can also reveal the light, the power, the breakthrough that you're refusing to claim as your own.
A candlelit altar, that's a sign that illumination is right there, waiting for you. But the light isn't coming for you, it's coming from you. Those candles, that's your courage. And the dream is saying the breakthrough is here, but you actually have to tend the flame. You have to be brave enough to look. And how do you tend that flame? It's simple, but it is absolutely not easy. Your task is to speak the one truth you have been refusing to say, out loud. Even if it's just to yourself in a mirror. That act alone is everything. And then there's the altar, covered in flowers. This is an explicit permission slip from your soul. It means you've been stuck in survival mode for way too long, and you've forgotten that you are allowed to flourish. It's a direct invitation to let beauty and abundance and joy back into your life. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most confronting demand of the altar, the true and sometimes bloody cost of transformation. Because all of these dreams point to a required sacrifice. But what needs to be sacrificed, it's not your joy, it's not your power. It is always, always the version of you that you have outgrown, the story that no longer fits, the identity that is keeping you small. This is the altar's final demand. It doesn't want your excuses, it wants your sacrifice. So the only question left is this one. What version of you will you sacrifice today so that the real you can finally live?
Part 3. What you do now.
All right, listen up. That dream, it wasn't some random casual visitor. No, it was an emergency alarm blaring from the deepest part of you. So what you do in the next 24 hours is absolutely critical. This is your response plan. Find the action that screams your name, and do it now.
Okay, first up, for the woman who processes everything internally, through writing, this is spiritual triage. Pure and simple. We're assessing the damage. And this is about brutal honesty. You're going to create what's called a sacred inventory. Think of it like this. One side of the page is everything that fills you up, that makes you feel alive. The other side, everything that bleeds you dry. We are not looking for nuance here. This is a black and white, stark accounting of where your actual life force is going.
And these instructions, they are absolutely non-negotiable. I want you to set aside 30 minutes, tonight. Not tomorrow, not when you get around to it, tonight. You're going to list every single role, every relationship, every commitment you have. And look, if more than half of that list lands on the draining side, well, there's your answer, isn't it? The dream was the alarm bell. This inventory, this is you finally picking up the damn phone.
All right, now let's shift gears. Let's talk to the woman who feels things in her bones, who processes through her body. For you, just thinking about this stuff isn't going to cut it. Not even close. The action has to be physical. It has to be spoken, out loud.
Here's the thing you need to get. Your body responds to the vibration of your own voice in a way it just doesn't to your thoughts. So you're going to stand in front of a mirror, put your hands right over your heart, and you're going to say the words, "I am returning to what is real." Then, you name it, the one sacred thing you have been sacrificing. Is it your job, your peace, your art? Name it. Say it out loud. Let your own ears register the truth.
And make absolutely no mistake about this. The stakes here are sky high. Because the body, it keeps the score. It keeps a perfect record of every single time we betray ourselves. If you refuse to speak your truth, your body will start screaming it for you. And it'll do it through exhaustion, through illness, through a complete and total collapse. It will get your attention one way or another.
Okay, now we're pivoting. This is where the dream smacks right into the real world. I'm talking to the women whose relationships, whose careers are right at the breaking point. This is where your sacred promises, your covenants are being put to the test.
So if that dream felt like it was all about your partnership, listen up. Here is the challenge, straight up. That altar represents a covenant, a sacred vow. And the dream is asking a devastatingly simple question. Is that vow, is it still alive? Are you honoring it? And more importantly, is it still honoring you?
Your action item here is laser focused. You request one single honest conversation. This is not a fight. It's not a negotiation. It's just a truthful accounting, and the only thing on the agenda is this question. Where are we, really? And here's the kicker. If you can't even safely have that conversation, well, the dream has already given you your answer, hasn't it?
Now for the woman at a professional crossroads. The question is just as sharp, just as cutting. Think of the altar of your work. It's where you make your offerings, right? Your true gifts. And this dream is forcing you to ask, are you making those offerings at your own altar? Or have you been sacrificing the best parts of yourself at an altar that someone else built?
Let's get really practical. I want you to list your top 3 gifts. And I don't mean your skills. I don't mean your job title. I mean your deep, innate gifts, the things you were born to do. Now ask yourself, does my current job use any of them? If the answer is no, then you need to understand something. You are in a state of sacred misalignment. Burnout, it's not a time management problem. It's a soul problem.
Okay, now we need to talk about absence and loss. We need to talk to those of you who are drowning in grief or just a profound sense of disconnection. If the altar in your dream was empty, if it was dark, if it was destroyed, this is for you.
What's happening is your psyche is desperately trying to process a loss that your waking mind has refused to look at. We call this unwitnessed grief. And let me tell you, grief that isn't seen, grief that isn't acknowledged, it doesn't just pack up and leave. No, it goes underground, and it gathers power.
So what do? You create a ritual. And this has nothing to do with religion. It's about pure acknowledgement. Light a candle, hold a photograph, and you speak the name of what or who was lost. Say it aloud. And just for a moment, give yourself permission to feel the actual weight of it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to move on. Just feel it. Because unacknowledged grief, it calcifies and becomes this hard, immovable rock inside you. You need to start this now.
Okay, what about the atheist, the agnostic, the spiritual wanderer? I see you. And this dream, it visits you with the exact same urgency as it does the most devout person.
This isn't about doctrine. It's about a fundamental core human need, the need for meaning, the need for a connection to something, anything, larger than the daily grind.
So your action is dead simple. It's purely practical. You're going to designate one small corner of your home as sacred space. Put a stone there, a photo, a plant, whatever means something to you. And visit it. 5 minutes a day. That's it. Look, you're not trying to solve some deep philosophical problem here. This is a survival problem. And this is your solution.
And finally, this one is for you. The woman who almost dismissed all of this. The one who almost clicked away. Who told herself, oh, it's just a dream. I need you to listen, and listen very closely.
You know, Teresa of Ávila. She was told by the most powerful men of her day that her sacred experiences, her inner reality, were delusions, that everything she knew in her bones was wrong. And in the face of all that power, she made a choice. She chose to trust herself. And that one choice, it literally changed history.
Now, your choice might seem smaller, but believe me, it is no less significant, and your action is so simple. You're going to choose one person, someone you actually trust, and you're going to tell them about the dream. And listen, the goal is not to analyze it, it's simply to have it witnessed, to make it real by saying it out loud, to just say, something is stirring in me, and I'm finally paying attention. You have to understand, making the internal real is a radical act.
And really, this brings it all down to one final question. Will you make the choice to take your own soul, your own interior life, seriously? Or are you going to keep outsourcing your truth to the people and the systems out there that would much, much rather you just stay small?
Because here's the unvarnished truth. Here's the consequence of inaction. The woman who dismisses her dreams today, she is the same woman who wakes up 10 years from now completely hollowed out, looking in the mirror and wondering, how did I get so damn far from myself? Don't be her.
The altar is real. The call is real. So answer it.